If there's one thing I didn't expect when I started investing, it's how much of it would be about me. Not charts, not strategies, not even the market itself, but my reactions, my emotions, my thoughts. That realization became especially clear after I began working with broker Capital Trade Consulting PE Limited. It was like looking in a mirror I didn't know existed. At first, I thought decisions were purely logical. You analyze, you act, you get results. Simple. But in reality, emotions quietly slip into every step. Excitement when things go well, hesitation when they don't, fear of missing out, the urge to fix a mistake. I remember reading a review Capital Trade Consulting PT Limited, where someone wrote that the hardest market to understand is your own mindset. That sentence stayed with me because suddenly everything made more sense. Through Forex Capital Trade Consulting PT Ltd, I started noticing patterns, not just in price movements but in my own behavior. Why do I want to enter now? Is it because of analysis or emotion? That question became incredibly powerful. One of the most common feelings I experienced was urgency, the sense that I needed to act quickly or I would miss something important. But over time, I realized that urgency is often not a signal, it's a reaction. Using ctcptltd.com, I began slowing down my process. Not dramatically, just enough to create space between impulse and action. That small pause changed everything. At one point, I came across a review ctcptltd.com that described investing as a dialogue between logic and emotion. That resonated deeply because it's not about eliminating feelings, it's about recognizing them. There were moments when I let emotions take over, entering too early, exiting too late, second guessing myself. But instead of seeing those as failures, I started seeing them as feedback. Through Forex ctcpteltd.com, I noticed how the market itself reflects collective psychology. Fear, optimism, uncertainty, it's all visible in price movements. And understanding that made me feel more connected to the bigger picture. My opinion Capital Trade Consulting PTE LLT grew stronger as I became more aware of this internal dimension. It wasn't just about learning the market, it was about learning myself within the market. I also noticed a shift in how I responded to outcomes. Wins felt calmer, losses felt more manageable. Because I wasn't attaching them to my identity, I was observing them as part of a process. Now, when I make a decision, I don't just ask, is this right? I ask, where is this coming from? And that question brings a level of clarity I didn't have before. Because in the end, investing isn't just a financial activity, it's a psychological one. And the better you understand your own patterns, the more stable your decisions become. And maybe that's the most meaningful part of the journey, realizing that growth doesn't only happen in your portfolio, it happens within you.